If you're a teenager expecting your parents to pay for college, show this to them now. You can pause. I will wait, but welcome back. I want to make sure that people know who should be studying for these subject tests. And the answer is everyone planning to apply to a competitive four-year college. Everyone. That means even if that competitive college is, quote, test optional, even if that college does not say it looks at SAT subject scores, it's an easy credential to gain. How easy? You have just been studying for many months and probably had a final recently. You who are freshmen, sophomores, or juniors, you will have that credential in August. You don't have to wait that long to keep your knowledge, maybe burnish it somewhat, and be able to impress with a score on a 1-hour test called the subject tests. The subject tests are given August 29th this year. You can take 1, 2, or 3 in succession on the same day. It is a credential that's not as important as GPA, not even as important as an SAT score, but at the margins, it could be the balance tipper. Without a lot of effort, we're not asking kids to study a lot because you've put in a lot of study and you can choose your subjects. This is your choice of math, English, biology, physics, chemistry, US history, world history, any of 8 languages, and a 9th one, the dead language called Latin. Any of those are in play for you to excel on. And here's how you know whether you can excel. This book, the official guide for all SAT subject tests, lets students take a full-length test and score it. And if under time conditions you are in the 700s, that's an 800 scale, you're looking pretty good. You're going to be impressive to most colleges. If you're even in the 600s, well, you can get coached. That's something we do. And in a fairly short time, an Ivy-bound tutor can work with you to build your score into the 700s. It's a lot less time than it takes for SAT mastery or ACT mastery, far less time than you spend in even 1 month in a school course for this. We are recapping, we're adding some knowledge so that you can score well. Choose your subject, practice a little or a lot. I happen to like 2 subjects in the same day. And look, because they're short tests, on Saturday morning, you can, with less than 3 hours invested, get 2 tests under your belt while your friends are still in bed. Still have a good, fulfilling weekend after. Let me just give the COVID possibility and why this test might really help you, okay? If there's a second wave that shuts kids out of taking a single SAT or ACT, if you have these credentials, the scores on subject tests that are pretty good, they may be the only credentials besides GPA that colleges can use. So if you got good scores and everyone else has no scores, you're looking good. So low-hanging fruit is what we call the subject tests. For not a lot of extra effort, you have a college credential that the most competitive colleges certainly want, and even the not so competitive, but they're not community colleges, they are willing to see, and it certainly can bias the humans who are looking at a credential ultimately and maybe seeing a top 3, 4, 5% score from you. I hope this has been helpful. If you haven't gotten guidance like this from your school counselor, they might be overwhelmed. And if they're not accessible this summer, we are. Okay, lots of tips on ivybound.net, no charge. And those of you who'd like private counseling with a charge, but it should be really helpful for ultimately saving your parents' money and getting you into the school of your choice. Probably well worth it. Contact us at ivybound.net.